Our next speaker is Ryan. But before I call on Ryan, I just would like to give you some perspective on what his speech is. This is the first time that I've heard, that I will hear a speech from the leadership track. As you know, Toastmasters has two education tracks, communication and leadership. And communication track, well, it teaches us about public speaking. So that's where you have your communication, competent communication manual, advanced communication manual, bronze, and so on. Now, the speech that he's going to give tonight is not from that. It's from the leadership track. And in my 3 years of membership in this club, I have not come across, I have not heard of any such speech. So this is a special occasion for me. Fellow Toastmasters and welcome guests, let's welcome Ryan.
I am going to fill this meeting to the brim with propaganda to make sure all of you are lined up to be an officer for the upcoming term. As you can see, you can't yet see, but the topic of my presentation today is goal setting and planning. While that's getting started, let me first just get a show of hands from the audience. Raise your hand and help me out if you feel like you can improve with respect to your current health or your fitness or your diet. Great, okay, most of us, it's meant to be a rhetorical question. Second question, raise your hands if you've ever in your life set a goal to improve your health or your fitness, but didn't accomplish the goal or you felt like you didn't accomplish it. Okay, great. So I wanted to use this as an example because I think it's a very easily relatable example. And the topic of this presentation, goal setting and planning, is part of the Leadership Excellence Series, which Jude mentioned toward my ALB designation. And the presentation aims to teach the audience, teach all of us, how to follow a more formal process of setting goals and creating a plan around it in order to accomplish the goal. I think that there's a lot of good use to this about formalizing the process, and because I feel like if you practice it and you make it your second nature and you internalize it, it'll come more easily to you, more readily, and you'll be able to accomplish much more and complete the stuff that you want to do more readily. Starting with some definitions. Simple definition of what a goal is. It's simply an objective that you hope to achieve or accomplish. Definition of a plan, it's your blueprint, it's your journey there, how you're going to accomplish it. Characteristics of a goal. A goal, it doesn't have to be grand or complex at all. It really just needs to be a statement of the results that you intend to accomplish. And a very commonly used popular acronym to help you remember a technique, and when you're setting your goal, is SMART. And the S stands for specific. So let's take that fitness example. A lot of us may have an idea or an image in our head about what we want to look like. That could work as your vision, but you don't necessarily want to use that as your goal. Your goal should be something more specific to help take you there. So a specific thing could be, to get to that image, I want to lose weight. I want to lose 10 pounds. And that takes us to the M, which is for measurable. You want to choose something that can be tracked easily. You don't want to choose something kind of vague that you can't measure, like I want to look healthier, I want to be healthier. You're going to have to take that concept and break it into things that you can actually readily track, be it like your waist size or your body fat percentage or your weight. Next, action-oriented is probably something that's kind of an obvious thing. You have to, when you set a goal, you don't just randomly say something. It's to do something, to followed by a verb. Then the R stands for realistic or reasonable. You want to choose a goal that's challenging for you, but you don't want it to be too easy, and you don't want it to be too difficult either. And then lastly, time-bound. An example of using this SMART technique to set a goal would be, I want to lose 10 pounds within 3 months from today. You don't want to be too easy on yourself and say 10 pounds within 10 years. So choose something that's within that realistic guideline that's challenging, but not too difficult, not too easy. Implementing the goals there, this is a slide that kind of leads our way into the planning section. And when you're deciding how to implement a goal, assuming there are other people who are involved in the process, friends, family, significant other, or team members, you want to involve other people in the process. They can help keep you accountable, but just aside from that, involving them in the goal setting increases their commitment in it as well. They kind of end up having a personal stake in the goal when you involve them in it. Write each goal down. That's part of just the process of formalizing it. When you write it down, it makes it official. It's something that you can print out and put in front of you, because we have so many things that we're juggling and handling throughout the day that you can easily get sidetracked, or you can forget something that you had a goal in. Or even when you're working toward the goal, you can get distracted by tangents that are maybe related to it, but you forget what your original idea was, what your original objective was. Consider what you must do to achieve it. I'll expand on this during the planning process, but what this is kind of referring to is you should think about some of the strategies or tasks that you need to accomplish that will take you toward your objective. You should think about some of the obstacles that you might run into. Regularly review progress. Of course, it's really easy to fall off track, and if you don't track your progress, you're in trouble. Let's take the fitness example. Say you wanted to lose the 10 pounds in 3 months, and after 1.5 months, you track your progress and you've already lost 5 pounds, then that's great, you're on track. But if you're not, then if you're tracking it, then it's good, because at least you notice, oh, I'm already halfway through the timeline and I haven't lost a single pound. It tells you that you're doing something that's not working out. Maybe you need to take a different approach, something's not working. So that's the obvious benefit of tracking your progress. The planning process, obviously it reinforces goals. It puts the goal in the forefront. You're making a plan around the objective that you're going to accomplish. It makes leaders more future-oriented. In our example, say one of the things that I'm going to do in order to lose weight is I'm going to exercise and go jogging for 30 minutes per day. When you just start doing that task and it becomes just a routine and feels mundane, you just, oh, it's time to go jogging for 30 minutes, you may lose track of what you're actually doing it for. And so the benefits of having a plan is that you can aggregate it. You can see the big picture. When I'm jogging or doing this cardio for 30 minutes a day over a period of 90 days, it helps take me toward my objective. It enables leaders or people to coordinate their decisions with each other. That involves things like how you're going to use your resources. Money, do I have to spend money on buying more nutritious food, which may mean that it may be more expensive, often is, to buy food that's maybe less fatty, less carby. You might want to set aside money toward a gym membership or buying workout equipment to do at home. And then lastly, ensures efficient use of those resources, and that's not just in the money aspect, but also with time and manpower. If you're part of a team and you create a plan, you can avoid placing undue stress on Robin, placing undue stress on yourself and procrastinating. You can avoid things like that, which end up making people scramble to accomplish their goal. If you know what your goal is, but you don't set a plan to achieve it, it's easy for it to fall through. There are 5 steps to planning, and the first is just to establish your strategies, the tasks that you need to do in order to accomplish it. And in our example of fitness or health related, that some of the tasks that I had mentioned were doing the exercise, working a certain amount of cardio into your everyday, also maybe monitoring the caloric intake of your meals. That takes us to the next bullet point, setting a timetable. Let's say you currently eat maybe 800 calories per meal. It's important to do things in measurable ways and to monitor it. And so let's say we want to use the timetable and reduce our per meal caloric intake, how many calories we're eating per meal, by 100. So by week 1, I want to reduce it from 800 to 750 calories per meal. By month 2, I want to reduce it to 700. By month 3, I want to reduce it to 600 or something like that. Assign responsibilities. This is the part of the planning where you want to continue involving the other people who are involved, involve the other people who are stakeholders. And if you, for example, are not really good at reading or understanding nutrition labels or cooking, you might want to assign it to somebody, delegate the responsibility to someone else who's part of your team, who's on board, who's cheering you on, who wants to help out somehow, be it your friend or your significant other. Have them go to do the grocery shopping and have them help you with achieving that task of reducing your caloric intake. Anticipate obstacles. You never know what might end up happening. When it comes to myself and my own fitness goals, one of the problems that I deal with is I often just get lazy. I have difficulty getting out of bed sometimes, and if I set my workout time to be in the morning and I'm too lazy to get out of the bed, then that's an obstacle, and it easily throws me off course. And so when you anticipate obstacles, you want to think, if I know that this is a risk of happening, maybe I shouldn't necessarily depend on working out in the daytime. I need to get myself to be more open to exercising when I can, or in the evening. If I can't get out of bed, or if I really need to do it in the morning, and it's just that important, maybe I should put a 5-hour energy drink or a double shot or something there. It's actually something I've used before. Once I down that, I can't go back to sleep. Wide open. And then modify the plan as necessary. Even the best leader or project manager, planner encounters problems that may inevitably require you to change your plan. If you got injured, then you might need to change the timetable and extend it. You might need to lighten up the workouts that you do so that you don't put undue strain on your body and allow it some time to heal. Involvement, I kind of mentioned this earlier about involving stakeholders or key players or team members in the process of goal setting, but the same applies to planning. You want to involve them in order to take advantage of their creativity and also their problem-solving ability, and just, again, to increase their commitment to the process, give them a feeling of a personal stake in your accomplishing the objective. The Distinguished Club Program, abbreviated DCP, is something that, I think it was Bruce who was talking about it earlier. It is an award that each club can strive to receive, or it's a set of awards trying to measure the success of a club. For example, clubs want to have lots of participation and lots of members, and so one of the tasks that you need to accomplish is to increase the membership by a certain amount. One of the tasks is to have 2 members accomplish their competent communicator designations. And the DCP is a really great example of goal setting and planning and project management. And I really encourage all of you to step up to the plate. In conclusion, I just want to reiterate, I think that if you really familiarize yourself with this formalized process of setting goals and planning, put it to work, and normalize it such that it becomes like second nature to you, it can really increase your success rate, and you'll accomplish a lot more in your everyday personal work life. Thank you.
Let's have a 7-minute break. Let's be back at 8:15.
8:15.
Yes.
Thanks, Ronald.